Okay, just for a second. Think about your breathing. It's completely automatic, right? You don't even have to think about it. Oxygen is just there. But what if, for just 5 seconds, it wasn't? So let's run a thought experiment. For the next 5 seconds, poof, every single molecule of oxygen on this planet vanishes. No warning, it's just gone. What happens next?
I mean, it's only 5 seconds. That's barely enough time to even register something's wrong. So the real question is, would you even notice? Let's find out. All right, we're going to break this down second by horrifying second. Let's start the clock.
Here's our timeline for this little catastrophe. And trust me, each second brings a completely different kind of problem you would never expect.
Okay, second one. The oxygen is gone. And at first, you wouldn't see anything different. The sky's still blue, the ground is still solid. But your body would feel it instantly. The air pressure suddenly drops, and it feels like you're pulling in nothing. And the reason for that sudden drop is pretty simple. Our atmosphere, the very air we breathe, is about 21% oxygen. When you take away a fifth of something all at once, yeah, your body is definitely going to register that change. Now we're at second 2. This is where things get weird. The panic isn't screaming or running. It's silent. It's happening inside your head, because your brain is one of the most oxygen-hungry organs you have. Your brain would immediately flick into an emergency mode. You'd get hit with this wave of confusion. If you were driving, you'd lose focus. If you were talking, you'd just stop. Your muscles would start to feel weak, and you wouldn't have a clue why, because the threat is totally invisible. So this isn't just about us, right? By the third second, the effects start to scale up big time. We're talking about the entire planet reacting now. Every single airplane in the sky would instantly lose its cabin pressure. But honestly, that's the least of our worries. Our protective ozone layer, which is literally made from a type of oxygen molecule, would just start to break apart. We'd be completely exposed. And here's something you probably never thought about. Oxygen isn't just in the air. It's a key building block in a ton of materials all around us. See, oxygen acts like a binding agent, a kind of chemical glue in things like concrete and rock. Without it, those chemical bonds would destabilize. The world wouldn't explode, but it would shudder. Buildings, bridges, they'd all start to weaken and crack. We're in the final stretch, seconds 4 and 5. By now, your bloodstream is screaming for oxygen. Your vision might start to go dark at the edges, your reactions are slowing way down, but your body is putting up one last fight. And here's the wild part. Most healthy people would actually survive this. Your body keeps a tiny emergency reserve of oxygen, just enough to keep you from passing out for a few critical seconds. And then, just as suddenly as it left, the oxygen is back. But, okay, we survived the 5 seconds, we're all taking a huge gasp of air. The world, though, wouldn't just snap back to normal. The damage would stick around. The atmosphere would be a mess and need time to rebalance. That shredded ozone layer, it doesn't fix itself in a second. The risk of getting a serious sunburn would go through the roof. It would be a tiny blip in time with absolutely massive consequences. Thinking about something like this, it really forces a shift in perspective. 5 seconds doesn't sound like a long time, but it's just long enough to show us we live on a razor-thin margin. I want you to think about this number, 60 miles. That's it. That's the total thickness of the atmosphere that keeps us and everything else alive. 60 miles between us and the cold, deadly vacuum of space. To put that in perspective, if the Earth were an apple, our entire life-sustaining atmosphere would be thinner than the skin of that apple. That's all we've got. You look out at other planets and you see toxic skies, frozen deserts, atmospheres that are literally on fire. And then you have Earth, just perfectly balanced for us. Not too much, not too little, just right. And that's really the whole point, isn't it? The only reason we rarely think about oxygen is because we've never had to experience life without it. It's part of an invisible system that's fragile and absolutely extraordinary. So the next time you take a deep breath, maybe even right now, just pause for a second and remember what's really going on. You're not just breathing. You're participating in one of the most elegant, most perfect life support systems we know of anywhere in the entire universe.